language on earth, and itself, its structure and all of these things is not simple. But in the same time, that the Arabs used to be famous. They used to be the people of language, especially the Meccan people, which is surrounding Muhammad. They used to be famous with their poetries and things like this. So the Quran came in Arabic language, and then when Quran was revealed in this language, so the people of language themselves, they found this language so amazing, so profound, that to the extent that many of them admit that these words cannot be said by normal human being. It cannot be said the way that it's structured. But now, what's your name, by the way? What's your name?
Lizzie.
Lizzie?
Sydney.
Cindy. So, but how Lizzie and Cindy, after 1400 years, will appreciate the language of the Quran? Does she need to learn Arabic? Does she need to, how she can to say the Quran came from God, where they don't know nothing about Arabic? By the way, that as well Quran, not just only its language is sophisticated, as well there are information in the Quran, that those information are that when you hear this information that it was revealed 1400 years, you will know that this thing, it cannot be said by a human being. Now, and I will give you some information. For example, mentioned in some places in the Quran, God is talking about certain, what we call it, scientific facts in the Quran. And these scientific facts in the Quran is not just only facts. We only recently discovered these facts. Without the equipment that we have nowadays, we will be unable to understand these facts. For example, what is the deepest point any diver could dive 1400 years ago? Tell me.
Like 100 feet?
That's too much. But anyway, let's say 100 feet. So can someone dive beyond this?
No.
1400 years ago. I'm talking about with the simple equipment that they have.
Not at all.
Not at all. So listen to this. God has mentioned in the Quran, those who doesn't follow the guidance of God, they are like someone who's deep in the bottom of the ocean. Above him there is a wave. Above the wave there is another wave. Above the sea there is a cloud. Even if he took his hand out of his pocket, he will be unable to see it. Darkness upon darkness. So God is describing certain darkness, which is darkness upon darkness. Now, this darkness, someone who's deep in the bottom of the ocean, and think about it, Now, at that time, people used to appreciate, they used to see the surface waves. Normal, it's okay. But only recently when they discovered the submarine and all of these things, when they dived deep in the ocean, they discovered that there is another type of waves that goes in a different direction. They call it the sea current. So if the surface waves goes in this direction, the sea current goes in another direction, and they travel by waves, So when the sunlight comes on Earth, and if it's a cloudy weather, that 40% of this will be reflected back, on only 60% will go through. This 60%, if there is waves on the surface of the sea, it will break the light. So only half of it will be able to go through. And if there is another wave, which is the sea current going in another direction, that breaks what remains from the light. And deep on the bottom of the ocean, there is no light because of the depth of the ocean. And they discovered even recently that there are creatures that they never saw the sunlight. They don't know nothing about the sunlight. Even they have no eyes because they don't need eyes. So the point is, so even if someone took his hand out of his pocket, put it in front of his hand, in front of his eye, he will be unable to see it. Now, the question is to you: who taught Muhammad 1400 years ago about this fact?
This sounds like Plato's allegory of the cave, where it's like you're blind until you can see. Like your only sight is what is reflected on the cave. And then when people go out and see the light for the first time, it hurts. And then when they come back, they're unsure of whether or not to tell people that what they're seeing is untrue or not. You know, what they're seeing is just shadows rather than the truth, and it's harder to go outside.
Yeah, but here you see, we are talking about a specific, detailed description of a situation. We're not talking about kind of a vague or an ambiguous statement, and then you interpret it the way that you think. We're talking about a detailed one, a detailed information. We're talking about someone who's deep in the bottom of the ocean. Above him there is a wave. Above the wave there is another wave. So there is two waves here. At that time people used to laugh. What kind of wave on top of the other wave? Used to laugh, what kind of nonsense that you're talking about? And above the sea there is a... So we're talking about details here. We're not talking about just only an ambiguous or a vague wording, and then you could interpret it the way that you think. So that's one thing. And Allah has as well mentioned in some places, but you are not yet aware of that. So that's why when you see these facts, you say, Who taught him about this fact?
Yeah.
How did he know about it? We're talking about an illiterate person. He is unable to read the information of his time, let alone the information that yet to come in the future. So that's one thing. Another scenario. Yeah. So what do you think the people they know about the cosmology at that time?
Just what they see. I think it's
see?
like
Directions?
heliocentric versus geocentric. Yeah.
So they used to direction, things like this. That's the maximum, yeah?
Yeah.
So listen to this. That God mentioned as well in the Quran. That's another fact. Yeah. Allah says in the Quran about, Allah says here, by the way, just when Allah making there are some places in the Quran that Allah will make an oath by something. So when Allah making an oath by something, that wanted to us to reflect and to ponder upon this thing. So God says in the Quran that I will not make an oath by the positions of the stars. And it is a great oath, but yet you are not aware of that. Meaning, so God is talking about positions of the stars. At that time, people interpreted, they say, yeah, it means direction, etc. But we're talking about a specific thing, positions.
Yeah.
It's not talking about the stars. Yeah, and God is saying you are not yet aware of this. You cannot comprehend this information yet now at this moment. Only recently when they discovered these telescopes, etc. And then when you look in the sky in the night and you see a star, what do you see?
Light.
You see the history.
Yeah.
You see the history. So what happened? You literally, when the light departs from that star, and it takes that light millions of years in the space until reach your eyes.
Yeah.
So by this time, that star is not there.
Yeah.
Could be dead. Could be turned into black hole.
Yeah.
Or could move, because we as well, there is another verse saying in the Quran, we have created the heavens and we are expanding it. So the universe is expanding. Now again, can you imagine that at the time people they say, okay, what kind of expansion to the sky or to the heavens? What kind of this expansion are you talking about? But yet, only recently we discovered that there is an expansion for the universe, and literally these stars is not in its own positions. Now they move to another place, to another direction. So now that's another question. Who taught Muhammad about this fact? Again. So if it's once, if something that happens, or a coincidence could be a coincidence, another time that we another coincidence, another time to be another coincidence, but we have many coincidences. We have again as well. What's the knowledge of the people at that time, talking about the fetus, in the womb of the mother? What the knowledge that they have? Not much.
Yeah.
So here again, God again is describing certain things about the development of the fetus in the womb of the mother and how it develops and all of these things. So you can see all of these facts that in the Quran, mentioned in the Quran, that to show you that the Quran is so profound, that has this information that to tell, who told him about that? For example, let's pause on the scientific facts.
Yeah.
There are some historical facts. Now, for example, what was the source of history about the ancient Egypt at that time? Source of information about it, except what the people used to see on the walls, etc. at that time. But in the same time as well, but until and then the main source of information of history at that time, during Muhammad's time, was the Bible. You could say the Bible, or you could say the Torah. So they were talking about. Yeah. So, for example, the Bible or the Torah, they talk about Pharaoh and Moses and Joseph and these things. Yeah. So the Torah was kind of, or the Old Testament in the Bible, was consistent talking about the Pharaoh and Joseph, Pharaoh and Moses. So Pharaoh is the same person with Joseph, and Pharaoh is the same another person, but his title is Pharaoh with Moses, and that's it. Happy, there's no problem. And here in the Quran, there is a chapter about Joseph, and that chapter was consistently talking about the king at the time of Joseph was titled as a king. So it was never to be titled as Pharaoh at all. So it was always Moses and Joseph and king, and the king said, you'll find these statements. But when it comes to Moses, where the story of Moses was kind of spread throughout the Quran, so whenever Moses is mentioned and Pharaoh, they always Moses and Pharaoh and all of these things. So it was never mentioned a king for Moses, and it was never mentioned a Pharaoh for Joseph. So the old Christian, they used to come to Muslim to say, you got it wrong. you are not giving the right title about the pharaoh, etc., and you are wrong, etc. Now, what happened here? What happened here?
It's a lie.
Okay.
Allah is a liar. Allah is a liar.
Okay.
Allah is a liar.
Yeah, okay.
Show me one.
Okay. You see, these are the type of Christian that we have here.
Arab people.
This is the type of Christian.
It's just like an Arab trader.
Okay.
When they see a white woman
Okay.
for the first,
Okay. So anyway,
don't hit me.
so you see here, until an Englishman from UK discovered what is called risotto stone. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah.
Yeah? Have you read about it? Yeah? So risotto stone is literally they dismantled the old hieroglyphic language into old Greek and Latin language. Yeah? They discovered it. Yeah? بس خلي روح معه روح ما تسيبه بس خليه اوكي اوكي anyway
to convert to Islam anytime. They want they go after
they are after publicity.
this one.
Anyway,
Like
come here because I'm worried for your safety. Come here. I'm worried for your safety. Brother, give us space. Give us space. I'm worried for your safety. Sometimes it gets mad, you know. Sometimes it gets mad. You see? They discovered that it is impossible that the king at the time of Joseph to be titled as Pharaoh, because at that time the Hyksos used to rule Egypt, and the Hyksos they never had the title Pharaoh. Yeah. Later on, when the ancient Egyptian came into power, they put the word Pharaoh to the king. Now the question is. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So now the question is.
Yeah.
Who taught Muhammad again about this fact?
I don't know.
So you see here, sister, what we wanted to learn. Please, brother. Brother. Just say, please.
No, why did you hit him?
Okay. So,
Call the police.
okay, call the police. Listen, call the police. Go call the police. Okay, just call the police. Call the police. Go. Come here. Wow, what's this? Let's run. You see, sometimes people they get heated with a conversation. But anyway, so Cindy.
It's Sydney. It's okay.
No, sorry again.
Yeah.
Sidra?
Sydney.
Okay, and
Lizzie.
Okay, nice meeting you anyway. So that's why when you read the Quran, you'll find all these profound facts in the Quran, and that shows those are facts. It tells you that this Quran wasn't revealed by Muhammad, and even Muhammad, for example, you will find that God will blame Muhammad in certain things. Will say to him, for example, in certain things, in certain occasions, he blamed him for certain action. If someone is authoring something, will not put something, he will put always the credit for himself. He will not blame himself for certain things. You understand? So that shows this Quran, if you read it, then you will find all of these facts about the Quran. You will find all of these information, and to tell you that this Quran was revealed by the Creator to communicate to us, to show you what is the truth about Islam.
Yeah.
So I will advise you, read the Quran. You'll find kind of a life-changing things. It's something that you'll see so amazing information that you'll find there. And if you have any questions or anything that you are here, if you want to take my details, if you want to contact me for any question, I have no problem. Do you want to do that? It's up to you.
I think I will probably take a look at it. Yeah, me too. But you've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah, that's fine. And as well, let me write for you my Instagram if you wanted to.
I can write it down on my notes.
Yeah, okay. SH
Okay, what's it?
SH dot. One second, let me just, because I forget.
Good.
One second. One second. That is my Instagram.
وين زين؟ زين الجاكيتة تعبي.
That's where the government says you're not allowed to import cheap labour.
H.
They need 60,000 Yes, and we need nurses and they're fine.
And underscore Tourani.
My notes.
Did you find it? Did you find it on Instagram? I think you wrote Sheikh wrong here. SH. Yeah. Just go back.
I see.
SHEI.
B-I-K.
They'll never be happy.
Is it?
Did you find it?
No.
Let me write it for you, maybe.
Here, I have F-A.
Sheikh, yeah. Move. Med underscore.
The land itself will reject.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. You could follow me, and as well, if you have any question, just text me on Instagram. If you have any more, if you wanted to to ask more question, I'm happy to answer. And I hope you a safe journey.
Thank you.
For how long you gonna stay in the?
Just until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow. Where about America?
Denver. Yeah.
Denver,
Colorado.
Colorado. I don't know. I'm not good in. Is it east or?
It's
In
like
the middle.
in the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle of America.
I see.
Thank you very much. Thank
No
you
problem.
so
You're
much.
welcome anytime, and at least you have something. I know the journey is gonna be. So you have something to read, and as well, just do on your phone. Just type, for example, in Google, the miracles in the Quran. You will find all of this information there, and then you will see a lot of things. There are some good books as well about the creation of the fetus and all of these things. You will find that so amazing information there. Just check the miracles of the Quran, and you will find a lot of information about it.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
no problem. I wish you all the best. All right, look after yourself. Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah.